Hello, crafty friends. Thanks for joining me again. Today I'm going to have a look at the Crafty Courtyard kit by Pink and Main for May 2021. I'm just unpacking the goodies from the box and I'm going to show you the lovely contents of this month's kit. So we're going to get a lovely purple dotted embossed paper, a teal embossed dotted paper, a beautiful pink embossed dotted, a linen textured navy, a green sparkle glitter sheet, a grey and white. Inside the storage envelope we get our little ideas card and it has our contents. Then you get a full pack of pattern papers, and the designs in this kit are just gorgeous, and you can see the theme is definitely very spring summery with the bright lovely colours and all the pretty butterfly patterns throughout. There are so many gorgeous papers in this kit. It was really hard to choose which ones to use, and then fighting it with the idea of, well, I love this one so much I don't want to cut it up. But what's the use of having it if we don't use it? So we can always put one aside and use one as an alternative as well. There's some really nice effects on some of the papers. So you've got like a gradient of colours, then you've got a bokeh print, then you've got lots of tiny dot patterns on some, ink blotches or watercolour effect, all in that same beautiful palette, everything matching nicely. Here are our glitter enamel dots, and these are always lovely to use. We have a lovely sequin mix with little flowers as well as holographic silver butterflies. We also get this butterfly stencil, which is 6x6, and a 6x6 embossing folder, and this gives a lovely deep imprint of a sunburst. Then we have the gorgeous stamp, and it's a nice large size. It will fill an A2 card very easily. You get a matching die and then 2 sentiments in their shadow. And these pencils are for picking up your embellishments. And instead of sharpening, it has a little pull strip that you unwind to reveal more of the wax as you need it. So for card number 1, I'm embossing the large butterfly stamp, and I'm going to emboss it with a black embossing powder. I'm going to heat set that, and then I'm going to watercolour my design. It's always magic watching the embossing powder melt and set. Now you do need to make sure that you heat everything thoroughly and that everything stays in place there. Nothing worse than thinking you're finished and then you've missed a spot and you have to start all over again. So here I've just gone in and coloured with some watercolour pens. I use mostly Nuvo pens, which you can see I've swatched on my glass mat, and then I've picked up with a water brush to colour in. I'm adding to the bottom of my card a little banner, and I've stamped and embossed the sentiment on top of that. I've then cut out the dies with the sentiment "Sweet Friend," and I'm going to glue those in place. I took inspiration for this card from the little contents card that was in the kit. Then I wanted to add in some of the enamel dots. I initially put them here, but then changed my mind, as you'll see in a moment. And because it's such a lovely big butterfly stamp, I decided to make a 6x6 card rather than A2 size, so I can showcase more of that lovely design. And that's card number 1. For card number 2, I'm taking my Fine Tech iridescent paints and I'm just wetting them up to prime them and get them ready to go. I've embossed a white butterfly onto the navy cardstock in the kit, and I've chosen the navy because the iridescent paints show up really pretty on dark coloured cardstock. So you don't have to use black, but any dark colour shows up there iridescent effect really well. Now, I did take out some of the video because it is a long process to colour it in with the watercolours, but it is also very therapeutic and relaxing to do, and it's one of my favourite things or favourite ways of colouring images is with watercolour. I've brought in an Nuvo Aquaflow watercolour brush marker to give me a bit more of a teal green, and I've taken the iridescent green from the watercolour palette and mixed that with the Nuvo brush marker, and it gives me a beautiful teal green to match back with the kit, and those colours really do shine really nicely in the light. I've chosen to make a 6x6 card again, and I've taken this nice light grey stripe for my background. Once I have the paper nicely firmly attached to the card, I then die cut out a doily using one of the papers that have more of the navy tones to them. I cut that doily in half and place half of it on each side of my card base, and that's going to help ground my main focal image, which will be that beautiful butterfly. Then I've taken a piece of the multicoloured dot paper and put little tiny thin pieces of the glitter cardstock as a border along that dotted page and pop that up with some foam tape. Here's my butterfly. I've put a little bit of foam tape on either side just to help the wings stay popped up, and glue in the middle so I can press down and hold it in place. And this is the lovely tinsel glitter I used to decorate and emboss the butterfly. Card number 3, I've made a shaped card by taking the die that cuts out the butterfly stamp, and I've run that through with the top of the wing slightly above the fold in my cardstock, so you get a double sided butterfly. I've then heat embossed a beautiful purple glitter embossing powder onto my butterfly, and that's going to be the front of my card. And I've also cut out the pretty purple polka dotted paper to cover the back of my butterfly as well. By leaving it white inside, you'll be able to read and see the message rather than make it out of the purple cardstock instead of the using white. Now I've taken a sentiment which is thank you and die cut that 4 times and stacked them up on top, and then placed the glitter cardstock on top again. Then I've done that with the U as well. Let them dry a little, and then I'm going to attach them to the center front of my butterfly. The green is a nice complementary colour to the purple and stands out from the purple, especially while it's been that extra thickness due to the die cutting there, or the layers of die cutting. Taking some of the green sequins in the sequin mix, using that pencil, which is quite easy to use, and I'm just attaching those as the final details to my little butterfly shape card. The embossing powder is really pretty, and I don't think you need anything more than what's on the card there. For card number 4, I've brought in a light blue card base to go with the colours that you'll see that I've painted my butterfly with. I've used the lime green teeny tiny polka dot to make a matting layer. I've embossed the pink with the beautiful sun ray, and then I've gone over that with a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. There's my butterfly I embossed with a lilac embossing powder, and I've watercoloured that in and then popping that on top of my sun ray there. I've then stamped and embossed my sentiment, and I'm popping that up on foam tape. I did use a teeny tiny lawn fawn scallop edge just to finish off my little sentiment strip, and I'm adding on 2 little pink enamel dots to match back with the colour scheme of the card and its matted layering. And then I'm adding in some of the little lime enamel dots there to my card. And that's that card done. Pretty quick and easy, that one, but I think the colours are nice and bright and vibrant. Card number 5 was a bit of an experiment for me. I had my glitter kiss still on my desk, and because this kit had navy in it, I wanted to use this navy glitter kiss through the stencil and stencil onto that deep tealy coloured cardstock there. Now, I've never used this product on through a stencil before, so I discovered that I needed to do it in layers to get a nice thick coating. So you see me heat set there and then come back and do another layer over top. I then cut myself a heart, and I'm going over that to match back to that butterfly. And then I've got 2 smaller hearts that I'm also going to use on my card. I've then cut my panel down so it will fit on a 6x6 card. I'm using a strong adhesive tape and a little bit of glue on the bottom of the card there to attach it. Then I'm popping up the heart I've cut out and putting that up on some foam tape, and that's going to go into the centre of my card. Once I have that set in place, I'm going to bring in the butterfly that I have just stamped, not embossed, just stamped, and then I have coloured again with my iridescent paints. Putting glue in the middle to hold the middle part down flat, and I'm putting it on a slight angle, and the wings have a little bit of foam tape just to give a little bit of dimension. To the centre of the butterfly, I'm going to add the smallest heart, and I'm going to go over that with the glossy accents. And when it's dried, it just makes the sparkle on there so pretty and shiny. It's so lovely. I was glad that I did that. I'm now embossing my sentiment, and I'm using a white fine or detail embossing powder to get a nice clean sentiment there. I'll just emboss that, and then I'll trim it down after I've cleaned off the excess powder on there. And then I'm going to pop it up, and I should say I made a little fishtail banner out of it. I've popped it up there with my black foam squares, and then I've also added that larger heart to the bottom right corner and going over it again with glossy accents to match the one that's sitting in the middle of the butterfly. I decided I needed some more glossy accents down the body of the butterfly and on its 2 antennas, just to give another texture to the card. And then I felt like the heart wasn't standing out enough from the background, so I'm coming in with the different sizes of the enamel dots and adding them to the heart. You'll see in the picture that I also add 3 more enamel dots to the side of the heart there as well. I'm just going around with a light green Love from Lizzie straight peel off. I felt like the edges of the stenciled cardstock needed to be finished a little bit better. So I thought those peel offs were a good match, and it just framed the card up nicely. So that's my 5 cards. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if there's anything you'd like to see or you'd like to see more details, please let me know in the comments, and I will try to make sure I include that for you in future videos. Thank you very much for your support, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.